things.
No, I don't think we need to freak out one time. I think again, we take the ball away one time, and this is I want to put it on the I want to put this on the defense.
Look, there's a lot of blame to go around, but you heard it from Josh. There's no time to freak out. Welcome here into Teal, the show. Jaguars had a rough day at the bank against the Seattle Seahawks, and now next up is a trip to London. But we'll cover all of that over the course of the show. Got Kyle hanging out with me tonight. No Victory Monday, kind of fun today, but we'll try and work through some of the problems that the Jaguars saw against the Seahawks.
Yes, no, we thought this was a home game in Jacksonville, but it was actually in Jackson Smith in Jigbaville. So that's what we learned this week.
Yeah. Well, he definitely was a little too comfortable hanging out on the field. That was very evident. At one point, he literally accounted for the entire passing production for the Seahawks offense. So Jackson Smith and Jigba just a little too comfortable out there.
And it was a bummer that big play came on Newsome's first play as well. That's because I think we'll see better play from him moving forward.
Yeah.
That just
Look, he came in the game cold. They targeted him. It was the perfect opportunity. Liam Cohen said they were in just the right coverage, and the Seahawks had just the right play on. The Jaguars were playing quarters. The Seahawks had a beater for it, which would put Newsome in a really tough position on a play that would be tough for him to make. So ultimately, right place, wrong time kind of thing.
And even despite that and how bad the game was, the Jags still had a chance, and that's the bright side of everything.
Yeah, look, if you want a silver line into the whole thing, the Jaguars played about as bad a game as you can play. I mean, what went right?
Not a whole lot.
And somehow, some way, the Seahawks couldn't close the door on them. So if there's a silver lining, and there's no moral victories, that counts for nothing. But yeah, that's probably the moral victory, your silver lining, is that as bad as they played, they were still in it in the fourth quarter, and there were still opportunities where they could have got back in that game multiple times.
Yes, and so we did hear from Liam today, and he was kind of asked just about like the inconsistencies. Sometimes the team's playing real high, sometimes not so much, and just how he's trying to, balance that so that the lows aren't that low.
I mean, it's no different than some of the inconsistencies in a lot of our guys right now is like our good, and some of the good has been really good. And some of the bad just goes to a really bottom floor in some ways. And that's just that's the consistent play that we're looking for from everybody. A part of this thing is trying to not let those dips dip down so low that it's game changing, right? Like we're all going to make mistakes or have physical errors, cut down on the mental errors. But the dips can't go so low. So do what these guys do best and start to really focus in on those things and maybe not ask them to do some things that, they're not doing at a high level right now, and only have those guys do what they're truly doing best. And that's on us as coaches too.
Yeah, I think he kind of hit that one on the head. There's a wide range of things. Sometimes the Jaguars are really good, and sometimes they look not as good. Brian Thomas, really good day, then drops a pass on third down. I mean, it feels like it's all over the place. I feel like that's part of the Trevor Lawrence experience. Really good pass, and then every so often a really bad pass. The offensive line, some really good games. The Seahawks game, really bad game. He avoided saying, really bad, just some not so good things. I'll say it. Some of them play really bad at times. You're missing opportunities. You make a big play, and then you get the offsides penalty from Travis Hunter that takes a touchdown off the board. Stuff like that. It's just got to stop happening. The Jaguars lead the league in drops, by the way. Lead the league in drop passes.
One step forward, two steps back. You can't do it. I think also it's not necessarily that everybody has to play their best, but one thing they talked about this year that the Jags have been good at, like when they played, is complimentary football. They didn't do that on Sunday.
Well, they haven't played complimentary football. The defense has played some really good games, and the offense has played a good game, but they haven't all played good at the same time. When it's complimentary, you show up and you explode. Like if the Carolina Panthers game, the defense played a good game. If the offense was scoring touchdowns, it's a blowout. And that's why they kept saying they hadn't played their best football and they hadn't put together 4 quarters, and that's why they were so confident about the ceiling for this team. And now, look, this is a good football team. We're nitpicking a 4-2 team right now, but they haven't played complimentary football yet. Not yet.
No, you are correct. I just meant more like if the defense gets a stop, the offense doesn't score. If the offense scores, that's a little more complimentary. The offense drives down the field, they don't get a score, but maybe they get in field goal range. Kicker doesn't make the kick, not complimentary. That was the type of stuff we saw on Sunday.
Yeah,
but this is a good segue into the report card, because we do have some grades to give out today. I don't know how good they'll be, but we'll see what we can do. Maybe we'll grade on a curve.
No.
Okay.
They lost the game. We'll see. All right, who you want to talk about?
Let's just go first with the offensive line.
F. Ooh. Trevor was sacked 7 times. He was pressured at a rate that the NFL hadn't seen since 2020 in the first half. F. I mean, look, if I had to rate, there's 5 guys on the offensive line, and Jonah Monheim, the center, was making his first start. And I've seen it online. People are pointing the finger at, like, Robert Hainsey was the difference. Maybe in communication. Jonah Monheim wasn't even like the top 3 of problems on the offensive line on Sunday. The rookie actually played solid, all right? The rookie actually played solid. But F, your quarterback gets sacked 7 times. Trevor had absolutely no opportunity to set up back there. The offensive line shoulders a big chunk of the blame for the ineptitude for the offense against the Seahawks. I mean, they got to be better. We applauded them for the games where Trevor didn't get his jersey dirty. There was no QB hits. Well, that's the flip side of the coin. You let your quarterback get sacked 7 times. If there's a grade lower than an F, I'd give him that.
Ooh. I think that would just be a 0.
No, yes.
Okay,
yes.
All right, that's a fair grade. The offensive line did not play good. That was evident. We'll stick with that. Let's say Trevor. So he did have to deal with those sacks. What are you grading Trevor this game?
I don't think Trevor played bad. I think Trevor played within what was available. I mean, I'd go to this end and probably give him maybe somewhere between a B and a C. I think Trevor played good football with what he was able to work with. Not a whole lot of time back there. He threw some catchable passes. There were some that the receivers didn't bail him out on. Honestly, his receivers weren't doing him any favors by getting open against a banged-up secondary. He missed maybe the one shot to De'Ami Brown, but overall, look, this isn't on Trevor. Trevor played probably he didn't turn the ball over. He played sound football. He gave his guys a chance, kept them in the football game. His receivers weren't doing him any favors. I'll go B. I'll go B. B for Trevor.
Okay, I also agree with that. That's not a bad grade. Yeah. Like you said, if he would have played bad, this game would have been a whole lot worse. So he kept him in it. That's fair. Let's go defense next. This is a tough one a little bit because they did play well, but they also, the big plays they gave up were the difference.
Yeah. I'll go maybe a C+. I think the defense kept them in the game for a while, but overall, the big plays are the difference. And there's really just like the 2 big plays that were the problem. You got the big play to Jackson Smith and Jigba, and you got the big play to the tight end late in the game. But the reason I'll go the C is also because the pass rush was like non-existent for the Jaguars defense. They did not do a good enough job of consistently putting Sam Darnold under pressure. Trayvon Walker dealing with the hand injury. He didn't get home. Josh Hines-Allen, one of the few games in his career where he didn't have a single pressure, and the interior of the defensive line gave him nothing. So I'll go C there because the pass rush wasn't doing a good enough job, plus the kind of explosives that they gave up. But overall, I mean, the defense played a pretty solid game.
Okay. All right, last one here. Let's go with Cam Little, the kicker.
I like Cam. F. You missed a field goal. You missed an extra point. That's 4 points you literally left on the field.
Hey, I can't disagree with that. The 4 point, those points could have literally been the difference in the game. I agree with you. You have to make. Also they had to go for 2, which they didn't get, which I think was a direct result of missing the extra point because now you're behind a point. Look,
Cam's got to be better. I mean, the Jaguars failed at every phase on Sunday: offense, defense, and special teams. And Cam Little is the reason why the special teams grade would be a failure, because you missed a kick and you missed an extra point. First extra point miss of like his life too.
That's a crazy stat.
Yeah, crazy stat. Crazy pull for Cam Little. But yeah, F. You got to make the extra points.
But on the bright side, the season's not over. There's plenty of games left. This was a bad game. They didn't play that well. They can always improve.
He didn't eat his Prowler Puffs.
Yeah. Got to get that cereal in the morning.
That's it. That's what he needs. All right, we'll take a quick break here. Maybe we can see if we can turn up some Prowler Puffs during the commercial break. But we'll come back. We'll start looking ahead a little bit, and we'll keep talking through all the problems that showed up on the field on Sunday for the Jaguars. That's still ahead.
Well, looks like Jacksonville's back. Unfortunately, we were the ones getting sacked.
Look, it wasn't a long message, but I think he nailed it. Look,
He wasn't wrong.
Seven sacks is a problem. The Jaguars' offensive line got beat up. That is a good front line from the Seattle Seahawks, one of the tougher defensive fronts in the league. But the Jaguars, you got to win the game in the trenches. That's what coaches say all the time. You got to win the game in the trenches. And the Jaguars lost in the trenches, so it's not a surprise they lost on the scoreboard.
And it's like what Liam Cohen was saying. When the offensive line's really good, Trevor's not getting touched. When they're really bad, he's getting sacked 7 times.
The highs and lows, you heard Coach talk about it a little bit earlier here on Teal the Show. All right, so next up for the Jaguars, we're going to try and not overblow this loss, right? Because the team is still 4-2. Like, I want to stress that part. The team is still 4-2. And if you had asked me before the season if they'd be 4-2 going to London, I'd have told you probably not. So enjoy the ride. I still think there's a lot left in the season, and the schedule gets a lot easier moving forward. Next up is the Rams, though, so it gets harder before it gets easier. But the Jaguars are leaving for London. They've already left for London at this point. So they're heading across the pond to take on the Rams. That's the good news. They'll spend the whole week there. The team feels like that'll help them feel a little bit better, get accustomed. Bad news, they're leaving Devin Lloyd behind. Devin Lloyd has made a play in just about every game this season, playing some really good football. I mean, he was the AFC Defensive Player of the Month for September. Well, Devin Lloyd was injured during that game against the Seahawks, missed most of the game, and now officially ruled out for this game. So, not great. Not going to see zero out there on the field against the Rams.
That's a tough loss.
Yeah, that's a real tough loss for the Jaguars. So we'll see if the team can kind of move past that. Ventrell Miller is going to be the next guy up. I like Ventrell. I think Ventrell's played some good ball for the Jags.
Yeah, he's played well. He's played well.
Yeah, so we'll see if Ventrell can do that. Hey, you heard the Duval dial-up just a couple of minutes ago. If you want to get in on the fun, all you got to do is dial us up over on the Duval dial-up. The phone number's on your screen. That's 904-391-3661. Give us a call. You might hear yourself right here on Channel 4 on Teal the Show. We want to know how you're feeling. Good, bad, ugly, and anywhere in between when it comes to the Jaguars. It's a lot of fun. We like to hear what you have to say. We definitely got the call. Hey, look, I think he's right. Saxonville was back, and bad news is it wasn't the Jags. But next time, it will be the Jaguars, right?
That's what we hope. That's what we hope.
That's what we hope. All right, let's wrap things up here on Teal the Show. Next up for the Jags is a game against the Rams over in London. And we'll have another episode of Teal the Show coming your way on Friday night. We appreciate you spending a little bit of your time with us here on Teal the Show. Good night, everybody, and go Jags.